Sunday I ran the Lake Lansing Team Marathon. It was kind of a unique experience. I haven't done a relay race in probably 20 years. Since I was in high school, ran the 4x400. So holding a baton for the first time in many, many years was kind of neat, you know. We weren't really, we had 3 runners and there were 5 legs in the marathon, so we obviously weren't at a competitive level with people who had 5 fast runners, you know, that could run at their top speed, run at their 8K pace essentially, and be able to, you know, hand off to the next fast person. So we weren't anywhere, you know, competitive for sure, but it was still pretty fun. I ran just 1 leg and my 2 teammates ran 2 legs each. I didn't want to overdo it, being that my marathon is 2 weeks out, was 2 weeks out from the race, and now it's like 10 days out. So I just did the run. I ran the very last lap. Some things that were kind of different than your typical race is, like I said, I ran the last lap, which meant I basically had to stand around for what was it? Probably close to 3 hours. I think it was, yeah, I think it was past 3 hours. Marathon time when I started my lap, so that was a little weird. Like, I had to get up early and get ready, and I got there on time, but then it was like a lot of standing around and waiting for my turn, you know, so that was kind of weird, but it was kind of cool too because I got to you know, watch my teammates run, so that was kind of neat too, because when you're running a regular race you don't get to, you know, watch other people run because you're running, you know, so that was kind of a nice mixture. I think it was kind of fun to be able to cheer on your teammates and stuff like that, and see them come through. And like I said, my teammates ran 2 laps, so, you know, I got to catch them, you know, coming through twice, so that was cool. But it was a little weird just in that, like, you're kind of pumped up and ready for a race, and you just gotta kind of stand around, and, you know, it was a very different experience for me. But as far as how my performance went and what I felt about how I did and stuff like that, I felt okay with it. It was warm, like I was the last person to run, so I started running at like 10:40ish, and it was a warm day. Like, the high was 87, so it was probably getting up to, you know, 80 degrees, somewhere around there when I ran, so it was pretty warm, especially in the sun, you know, when you weren't in the shade. This race was around Lake Lansing, so there was quite a bit of, you know, trees. There was like 1 solid mile that went through a trail, so it wasn't too bad out in the sun, but I definitely think that was a factor. I ran like a 34, low 34, something like that, and I had run an 8K back in February in like 31:47, so I was a little disappointed at my pace there, but I also give myself a little bit of a pass because of the high mileage I've been training at and the weather. But it's really hard to do that because it's like, okay, how much of a factor was that? And how much of a factor am I slower than I used to be, you know? So I don't really know. None of my tune-up races went real well. My confidence has not been super high. But I still feel good going into the marathon. I've been doing high mileage, so I feel like endurance should just not be an issue at all, you know. But you know, the whole question is whether endurance at pace, you know, is my marathon pace going to be realistic? Am I going to burn out at that pace? You know, I can certainly run 26 miles, but it's just a question of whether I can hold my goal pace. So gave a little bit of info about the course. It was a nice course. That middle mile through the trails was like by far my slowest mile. I'm not sure I can totally explain that, but it was like a dirt trail, and it was a lot of zigzagging and stuff, so I think I just couldn't stay up to speed because I was constantly zigzagging. I'd be curious to look at other runners' times and see if, you know, that was a trend that like everyone ran slow that middle mile, because I was like over 7-minute mile for whatever reason for that. And like I had noticed that on my watch that it was said I was like running over 7-minute mile pace, and I was like, that's got to just be like it can't hit the satellites or something, because I was like, I didn't really feel like I had slowed down that much. But yeah, I'm guessing that was just because of, you know, a combination of the dirt roads and having to change directions. There was also a lot of congestion in there because for whatever reason there were a lot of runners just happened to be going through that part, and there was nowhere, you know, when we're on the wide open road you can pass anyone left or right, but when you're on a little trail, it's harder to get around people. So that might have been a little bit of a factor too. But then I sped up after that. Once I got on the road again, I sped back up, pretty much the same pace I had been on before it. So, so that was just kind of an observation there. But it's a nice course. It's around the lake. Not real busy with traffic or anything like that. It was well marked. I don't think I really had any moments where I almost went the wrong way or anything like that. There were lots of aid stations on the course, so that was great. And it was a cool event, see all the people out there, their teams, and some people were ultra competitive. I think the winner ran like a 220 something combined team marathon, so pretty darn fast people out there, and fun to see that, and fun to see just the casual runners forming a team and cheering each other on and stuff like that. It was just kind of a neat, different environment. It was kind of like a party atmosphere. People were there. Like I said, you got to wait for your turn, so people were there, at the picnic tables and eating and hanging out and socializing and all that kind of stuff. So it was kind of a totally different atmosphere than most of the races I've ever been to, where it's like, you get ready, you do the race, and you leave. It was kind of more of an event that way. So yeah, I think that's about all I have to say about that. It was a fun event. I recommend it for anyone in the area that's looking for a team marathon. The cool thing is, like, you can choose how many laps you want to run. If you want to do, if you want to be more competitive and find 5 people, if you can only find 3 or 2 or whatever, you can do it. You could even do it all by yourself, I suppose. You can also do a single lap, and they have kids races as well, which was fun to watch. So lots of options there, and pretty good race. So I definitely recommend it. So what's coming up next for me? I got the Marquette Marathon in 10 days. Like I said, it's a week from this coming Saturday. So I'll be heading up there that Thursday morning. I'm camping up there, and then the race is on Saturday. So I'm really, really looking forward to that. I'm really, really hoping I can pull it off. I'm going to give it everything I have. It's going to be nerve-wracking because I'm going to be like Friday night, I'm going to feel like, okay, 24 hours from now, I'm either going to be really, really happy or really disappointed in myself. So, it is what it is. If I can't be Q, I can't be Q. I know I'm on the path to get there. It's just a matter of time. So, we'll see. But I really hope I can pull it off. I feel like I've put in a lot of work, and it would sure feel good to get that BQ behind me and be able to run it next year. So I'll be doing a preview of that race here coming up shortly. Got more videos coming out soon, so subscribe if you like the content. Thank you for watching, and I'll be back soon.